Before the armed forces of the Philippines released videos of that incident in Ayungin Shoal, there was scant or very scarce information on the details surrounding that incident. Yeah. Okay, coming from both sides, even China and the Philippines, there was condemnation, but the statements from both sides did not provide any details. Is it correct to sense that there was some attempt, at least, to soften
or to
manage this incident from both the Philippine and the Chinese side?
That's hard to say, right? Now, so what you saw was...
Because normally, excuse me,
go ahead,
Mr. Powell, normally a simple water cannon incident and it's all over the news, okay? And you know, we provide them all the details.
Right.
It took some time for the Philippine side, at least, to release these images, which are, you know, quite...
What you saw was China, as it has now grown used to doing, immediately put out information. I mean, in the minutes after the first incident, started to put out information about how it took control measures and against the illegal trespass. And
it sounded very generic.
But to me, it sounded very normal.
Okay,
right?
normal.
So this is what the China Coast Guard has now the habit of doing. It wants to be first out with the first information, giving their side of the story. And so that was really our first indication that something had happened. And what we then saw was, as you say, a longer delay than we're used to. In fact, in many cases,
the original statement from Defense Secretary Gibo Chidoro was also very, general. There was a condemnation, but it did not provide any details.
Yeah.
Of the incident.
I mean, I think it's fair to assume that there was a discussion in the government as to how they wanted to sort of frame all of what had just happened, because what had just happened, as everyone can see, it was really sort of a level above the other thing. I mean, there was a personal nature to the conflict that was happening out there. It goes beyond the picture of a water cannon hitting a ship. Right. Here you have a man standing with a hatchet threatening another man in a raft next to him.
And this is very damaging to the reputation of the armed forces. Because these are uniformed personnel, the best of the Philippine armed forces.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, so first of all, they fought back, right? They fought back, but they also exercised restraint, understanding that, first of all, they were surrounded, right? They were well outnumbered, and they were actually not sent out there to enter into armed conflict, right? They were sent out there to deliver supplies. And so they exercised restraint. Now, things didn't go well. And, those things should be thoroughly reviewed. We have these things called after-action reviews, where everybody deep dives and say, why didn't it go well, right? And, there will probably be things that come up where you should do things better.